Hi, good afternoon this afternoon. How are we doing? I hope you're having a great day so far. I think it's about to rain where I am. How is the weather over there where you are? How are the children doing? How's the family doing? So, very quickly, I had a question. Someone reached out and asked me a question about the last video I did where I discussed school selection and some things to take note of. Um, the person said, what is school supposed to do? Because I made reference to you making a list of what your expectations are in terms of selecting a school, deciding to stay at one school and leaving for another. So I said something about what is it that you want the school to deliver. Now, if your expectations are not correct, then you may not have the right expectations, which means you will not get the results that you need. Now, it's not because you have not asked for it, it's because you don't even know that's the result that you need, right? So what is school supposed to do for you, for your child? The purpose of school education, because there's self-education. The purpose of a conventional school of group learning is mental development, social development. Your child is picking up social skills, and in terms of mental development, your child is their mind, the cognitive part of their brain is developed in a school. It is expected that this happens. There's enlightenment, there's exposure to different kinds of information. And in terms of social development, they're learning to manage their emotions, they're learning to share, they're learning to look out for other people other than themselves. They're learning that there are people who are different from them that exist on this plane as well. So many things conventional school should do for you. And if you don't know what to expect of a school, then you would expect what they are not supposed to deliver, which is the wholesome educational development of your child. That's where you come in, because like I said the last time, school is supposed to be complementary. You have to determine what it is that you want your child to be capable of, being an educated person, a person who thinks at a certain capacity, who is able to process information at a certain capacity, who is able to behave in a certain way. A certain way meaning comport themselves, manage themselves, be able to present their facts and their thoughts in a coherent manner. Now, school will do that for you to an extent, but you have to do most of the work at home. And being able to teach a child begins with information about that child. Now, that's the difference between you taking charge of your child's education at home and leaving it up to the school. The school is not likely to zone in on one child because they have several children to look out for. There's the question of the skill set that it requires for school to be able to identify each child and know them by personality type, by learning style. But not every school would be able to do that for you, because frankly it's not their job. Okay, it's not their job to design their curriculum to fit one child. Their job is to take the majority into consideration and present information in the way that the majority can learn. Your job is to get ahead of that and be aware of your child's learning style and present that information to the teacher. If it's a fairly decent school, they should be willing to have you have a conversation with your child's teacher and tell them what your child's preferences are, how the easier ways to access your child's mental fortitude, right? So if your child is three types of learning, I'm talking about learning styles now. If your child is a visual learner, an auditory learner, or a kinesthetic learner or tactile learner, another word for that. So you have to determine that. The teacher may not take the time to determine that. Now, through observation, you may have some idea, right? And there's some preferences that are general, right? Methods of learning styles now that are general to most children. But if your child is the different one, then your child will not get the full benefit, right? So if the school cannot cater to every type of learning style, you have to supply that for your child. And I've gone ahead to put on using the link on my bio, you can access a free learning style assessment for your child. It's just a couple of questions, 20 of them in all, where you can answer, have a conversation, make it a gist a gisting situation between you and your child. So if you answer that those questions and you send them back to me, you complete the form, I will let you know what your child's learning styles are, and the primary one, because usually one is superior to the other. So if you are able to communicate that particular type to the school, then maybe the school can take advantage of that information and tailor make your child's learning to what suits them. Okay, if the school is not able to do that, if your child is a kinesthetic learner, most schools don't have those facilities. The Montessori method of education, the age 0 to 5 usually, is the best way for kinesthetic learning for most children, to be honest, because at that stage they're booting. At that stage they're still working a lot of things out, so their brains are fresh, and then you take advantage of the theory of the absorbent mind as postulated by Maria Montessori, where a child is able to learn between ages 0 to 3 just from by exposure, by exposing them to languages, to touch, to different materials. They're able to pick up information and absorb them without even making a particular effort to teach. So that's the basis, that's the foundation of the Montessori method, and I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's the best way for children to learn. But if the school cannot provide that, if your child is not at a fully Montessori school, you can take responsibility for your child's education and provide that for your child right at that young age. Okay, so as the child grows, you know the easier way. There is no point pursuing the harder. Even as an adult, you have learning styles. If you don't discover your learning styles, you will struggle with learning different things. But when you know how you learn, then you don't have to attempt to force yourself to let me use this example. If you're an auditory learner, that means you prefer to hear your information, then you would go for audiobooks rather than attempting to read hard back books in one sitting, which is more difficult for you. But there's an easier way. That's why it's called a learning style. It's your preferred method of absorbing information. So go ahead, go to my um bio now. There's a link tree link there that will take you to the page where you can make your selection and get your free learning assessment for your child. I hope this has answered the question of what school is supposed to do for you. At the end of the day, you are supposed to be responsible for your child's education. All right, so well done. Thank you, parents, for all that you do. May God reward your efforts and make you smile, make your children help your children, make you proud and make you smile in Jesus' name. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you sometime. All right, bye-bye.